Listen up, we have a situation on our hands. A small YouTuber by the name of TheFriendlyBroski has crossed our border and is making his way here to r/Ace Combat. Apparently, he intends to review every single Ace Combat game he can in an initiative to gain hegemony over all other Ace Combat YouTubers. This subreddit is our last line of defense. If it falls, no one will be left to stop him from reviewing more games. Your mission is to destroy the like button and defend our community. Broski's Ace Combat reviews must end here.
It's finally here, my Ace Combat Zero Balkan War review. I'd like to thank those who have been patiently waiting for this video and for the Ace Combat subreddit, who always offer sound advice and kind words for my Ace Combat reviews. And with that said, let's begin, and as always, story is up first. From what I have learned with my experiences in playing and reviewing Ace Combat games, a good story is essential, and that can be found in both Ace Combat 4 and 5 for the PlayStation 2. Now you may think, why does a flight game like Ace Combat really need a story? Well, without one, you would have no reason to fight. No course to fly for whatever nation you're a part of in the game, no objective that pushes you forward. Ace Combat games aren't about pointless missions that are strung along for you to complete. You're a pilot and you fight for a cause. Luckily for me and other players, the storylines told in Ace Combat games help give true purpose to what you're doing in game, and it's no different in Ace Combat: The Balkan War. This time the story is focused on two pilots, with the Balkan War serving as the game's backdrop, and it's important to note that this game takes place 15 years before the events of Ace Combat 5. Check out my review of that game for more details. So, who are these two pilots I mentioned before? Well, first up is Cypher, callsign Galm1. This is the mercenary pilot that you control throughout the game. You then have your wingman, Larry Falk, also known as Solo Wing Pixie, or rather Galm2. The story is told through the perspective of Brett Thompson, a journalist who's looking into the legendary mercenary squadron Galm, which was hired by the Republic of Ustio during the events of the Balkan War. It's also worth mentioning that, simply put, the Balkan War was a conflict that occurred between the fascist Balkan Federation and the Allied Osean Federation, which consisted of former Balkan territories, the Republic of Ustio, the Kingdom of Sapin, and the Union of Yuktobania. This war started because the Balkan Federation discovered a major source of natural resources and minerals near the border of Ustio, and with that, they decided to launch a massive assault against Ustio, and shortly after that, the game starts. But if I forgot to mention anything in regards to the story, please do tell me and correct me down below in the comments. Now, it's all well and good me giving some background to the start of the story, but is the story told actually enjoyable to follow? Yes, it is, in my opinion anyways. As always, you start out as a nobody, flying your way through the ranks until you're an ace. You of course take out the odd super weapon here and there, and near enough every enemy and ally you come across sees you as an untouchable force near the end of the game. What's nice about the story in the game is that it fills the void that AC5 left when it briefly mentioned the Balkan War, and when playing through the narrative, I always felt like there was this sense of urgency that I had to fly and work alongside my allies to help defeat the enemy. It also helps that the dialogue and back and forth chit chat when dogfighting and in other situations is always present, whether it be from your allies or enemies. For me, it helps build the scene, but as most of us know, the delivery can be a little bit corny at times, but most of the times it is high quality throughout. Other than that, Ace Combat: The Balkan War offers a very interesting tale of war and character. As Brett Thompson interviews more and more pilots throughout the game, you can see how your actions have affected them and the outcome of the war. For me, that's awesome. With the story, you can yet again expect something good, like you saw in the previous Ace Combat games. And with that said, I'll move on to gameplay. Now, this is the last Ace Combat game on the PS2, and as of now, the 5th AC game I have completed. When playing it, it follows the rule of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Ace Combat The Belkan War is going to play exactly how you would expect it to if you're familiar with the two previous games on the same console. This is an action-focused game. There will be dogfights, ground attacks, and more. You'll be locking onto various different targets using your special or non-special weaponry, taking them out from range, or when that's not viable, using your aircraft's cannons to do so. As you would expect, you can also purchase new aircraft and weaponry from the game's hangar, and this obviously becomes more important as the game goes on so that you can compete with harder aircraft, but once you got that perfect all-rounder, you probably don't need more than one jet. Missions for the most part are your standard Ace Combat lineup. Destroy those bombers, attack those ground targets, and engage those fighter jets, and so on. These missions are, as you would expect in a game like this, a mix of air-to-ground targets, but here's where some people may get a little bit worried. You see, there are no checkpoints when playing a mission. If you get shot down or even accidentally crash, well, that means you have to replay the mission, and that may annoy some people. I know it happened to me quite a few times, so I can understand the pain. But now I must talk about the one new feature that kind of changes the Ace Combat formula, and it's this new feature which is included in Ace Combat The Belkan War, and it's called the Ace Style. So what is this? It's basically how you're ranked morally at the end of each mission. There are a total of 3 Ace styles. First is Mercenary, and this is given to players who destroy as many hostile and non-hostile targets as possible. The next is Soldier, and this is for players who walk between the line of attacking hostile and non-hostile targets. And last up, and this is how I played on my first playthrough, the Knight style. This is an Ace style that is all about only attacking hostile targets and leaving the non-hostile targets alone, since they pose no threat to anyone. So why is this important? Well, depending on what Ace style you choose to play at, it determines what enemy Ace squadron you face in the upcoming levels, and due to this, it also affects what planes you will unlock too. Not only that, it also alters which Ace pilots Brett Thompson interviews as well, therefore altering the story by just a little bit. Lastly, this will also determine how in-game characters will respond to you. Will they see you as a bloodthirsty mercenary out to kill and destroy everything? Or perhaps a determined and revered knight, or even an elite soldier who's following his duties? For me, I'm somewhat happy with the inclusion of this feature. On the surface, it does give incentive for multiple playthroughs and does offer small narrative changes, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm just not too sure it alters that much in regards to gameplay. But if you disagree, please do tell me down below why you think it does. Overall, gameplay in Ace Combat The Belkan War is as exciting and fun as it was in the 2 previous games before it. The alternate Ace dogfights give you reason to come back, along with the added bonus of unlocking all aircraft. Just don't go expecting anything too grand in the way you can alter the story, but if you want solid dogfight, intense action, and most importantly, fun gameplay, Ace Combat The Belkan War has you covered. But now it's time to talk about the graphics. Visually, it's getting kind of hard to tell Ace Combat 4 and 5 and even this game apart, unless you're comparing the HUD, but still, Ace Combat The Belkan War is a pretty game, and I'm surprised of the quality of my captured footage, since I am playing using the disgusting composite cables. Ugh. Don't worry though, all of my future PS2 reviews will be captured through Component, but back on topic. The game looks good, planes are detailed, smoke trails are pretty, explosions look awesome, but as I've always mentioned in my previous AC reviews, don't fly too close to the ground, that's when you can see where the game falters. There's not really much point echoing what I have said before in terms of visuals, but I hope the gameplay you have watched in this review shows that this somewhat old game can still hold itself together and look good while doing it. And there you have it, my video review on Ace Combat: The Balkan War. I am very grateful to all my subscribers who have been waiting for this review, and I certainly hope it was worth it, but what's next? There are still quite a few ACE games out there, obviously, for me to review, and I already have my hands on all of them, so it's just a matter of time, really. To conclude though, the Balkan War retains the awesome and fun gameplay that was found in the previous games as well. You have great dogfights, a fantastic musical score as always, engaging radio chatter, and a bunch more. Just don't go expecting any groundbreaking departures from the original formula. Hey viewers, thanks for watching this review, and as always, all my important links to keep up to date with what I do can be found down below, so please check that out, and please consider watching my other reviews, and if you have any suggestions or just want to ask me something, feel free to do so in the comments or on Twitter. Catch you guys next time, and as always, this is the Friendly Bro, signing out.